A young man looks up, his face filled with terror. He is thrown into a world of chaos and violence. He battles against men and monstrous, shadowy figures. He inherited a blood legacy, joining a sect as an alchemist. Great waves of fate crash down, but he refuses to yield. He declares his will is absolute, enough to seal the heavens. But his journey began in a quiet mountain village. He was once a simple scholar, struggling for his future. His name is Manhwa, a scholar abandoned by his parents. They walked out of his life, never to be seen again. With no one left, Manhwa studied for the imperial exams. He sold his family home and took on crippling loans. For 3 years, he tried and failed every single time. Ready to give up, he found a man trapped below a cliff. But something was wrong with this mountain. A blinding light erupts, catching him completely off guard. A mysterious woman appears, telling him he has talent. His world dissolves into a splash of darkness. He awakens at the gate of the Reliance Sect. A new path opens, and with it, a burning new resolve. The other disciples mock his choice of treasure. They see him as trash, not even worth robbing. But Manhwa is relieved, no one has bothered him. He reflects on his slow cultivation progress. To advance, he needs resources he can't protect. Suddenly, the sect announces pill distribution day. Manhwa is swept up in the sudden commotion. The entire outer sect gathers in the central plaza. He spots the mysterious woman who brought him here. A cruel twist is revealed, the pills are sealed for 12 hours. A sect elder roars, silencing the crowd. He is Shangguan, distributor of the sect's pills. Green energy delivers the resources to the masses. Each disciple receives their meager share. Manhwa sees the 12-hour seal on his pill. But then a far greater prize is revealed. A drought spirit pill, a treasure worth killing for. Our boy wants no part of the coming bloodbaths. The elder says it's for a newly promoted disciple. And suddenly, a massive target is painted. Manhwa realizes this prize is actually a death sentence. He turns to see the burning greed in everyone's eyes. The entire outer sect surrounds him, a pack of wolves. 1,000 eyes fixate on the treasure in his hand. He is just one person against an ocean of killers. From a high peak, another elder objects to this cruelty. He says giving the pill to a new disciple is a death trap. But Shangguan insists he's only following the sect's rules. The Patriarch's orders are absolute, the competition is law. But amid the chaos, Manhwa raises his hand to speak. He loudly thanks the woman who brought him here. The mysterious woman Su is caught off guard. He bows, offering the death trap pill to her. The crowd realizes his genius move to avoid being robbed. She looks to Shangguan, who grants permission. She reaches out to accept the gift, and the pill's essence flows from his hand to hers. As a reward, she lends him her old cave dwelling. He's ecstatic. The crowd realizes he just secured a powerful backer. The observing elders are impressed by his cunning. Manhwa arrives at his new home, a secluded cave. He holds the jade slip given to him by senior sister Su. The slip glows, reacting to the ancient stone door. With a rumble, the entrance opens, releasing spiritual energy. Inside, he finds a true immortal's dwelling. A spirit spring pulses with energy, perfect for his level. He spends the entire night cultivating in his new home. One night's progress equals 2 months of normal training. He's drained the cave's energy, but the spring will recover. With his cultivation set, he decides to visit an old friend. Now safe, he plans to cultivate and trade his mirror. A sudden rustle in the trees catches his attention. He decides to hunt something for his friend as a treat. He leaps through the forest with newfound agility. He remembers his friend Li Fugui, a merchant's son. They were both captured together by senior sister Su. As roommates, he saw Li Fugui was kind despite his complaints. His friend did his work, helping him reach chi condensation. But his friend has a secret: he sleepwalks and bites things. His teeth can chew wood, a talent worth kidnapping for. He spots a wild chicken, a perfect gift for his friend. But as he grabs the bird, something feels very wrong. A strange energy pulses from inside his robes. The chicken's rear end suddenly explodes in a bloody mess. Manhwa is utterly baffled by what just happened. He feels a warmth in his chest and pulls out the mirror. He examines the strange artifact in the quiet forest. Suddenly, he spots another potential meal. A wild rabbit sits peacefully in a clearing. He points the mirror and the rabbit is mesmerized. The rabbit's rear end erupts in a spray of blood. He flips through the trees, testing the mirror's power. A brilliant, terrifying idea begins to form. The forest echoes with a series of wet explosions. He stands over a field of carnage, convinced it's a treasure. But he realizes this treasure has a very specific preference. Back in his cave, he continues his experiments. He recalls exploding a tiger 5 times and a wolf twice. It has no effect on creatures with scales, only fur. But what about a second layer chi condensation demon ape? He tests the mirror on a massive demon ape. The result is the same, a bloody explosion. He notices the mirror's rust is fading. He's secured a valuable second-layer demon core. Back in his cave, he takes stock of his treasures. For a new disciple, he's surprisingly well off. He debates which resource to consume first. He decides to start with the Sect's pill. He swallows the spirit condensing pill. Its energy dissolves, flowing through his body. Without hesitation, he consumes the demon core. An explosive force erupts inside his body. The raw power slams him against the cave wall. He struggles back into a meditative pose. Dark tendrils of energy rise from his body. He was careless, this energy is overwhelming. His body begins to expel its impurities. He focuses, refining the violent spiritual power. The intense process leaves him completely drained. He now has a path to infinite power. He stares in disbelief at the mirror's surface. A second demon core has appeared out of nowhere. The mirror duplicated the core, consuming a spirit stone. He holds an unprecedented, world-changing treasure. But to use it, he needs a fortune in spirit stones. Even as a cultivator, he's still completely broke. A dangerous thought crosses his mind to get rich. He consumes the duplicated demon core without hesitation. Its raw energy floods his spiritual veins. He recalls the bloody hunt that started it all. He recalls the fight, claiming he was provoked. But in this world, righteousness is irrelevant. The only law is that the strong devour the weak. He opens the dead man's pouch, his eyes widening. Inside is a small fortune in pills and spirit stones. He also finds a sword and a forbidden technique. With new resources, he can finally test his theory. He takes out the mysterious copper mirror. He carefully places a demon core on its surface and adds a spirit stone, praying it will work. He waits, but after some time, nothing happens. He decides to test it one more time. The spirit stone touches the mirror's liquid surface. It sinks completely, disappearing from sight. Manhwa watches, his eyes wide with shock. A second demon core materializes from nothing. The treasure's mystical power is finally confirmed. He trades his small fortune for 4 demon cores. He remembers the raw power of the demon ape. Without hesitation, he consumes the duplicated core. A vision of beasts and demons attacks his mind. A thousand-eyed horror rises from his spirit. The next morning, he tests his newfound power. A flaming serpent erupts from his palm. He's reached the peak of the 3rd chi condensation layer. The Sect's pills are now useless to him. He decides to visit his friend, Li Fugui. He finds Li Fugui in a bizarre, furious rage. His friend is screaming about stolen steamed buns. Manhwa watches, completely bewildered by the scene. An axe slams violently into the ground. His friend collapses in a furious fit. He's sleepwalking, shouting about stolen buns. Manhwa notices his friend's teeth have grown sharper. He realizes they're true spirit teeth. Suddenly, Li Fugui snaps awake, smelling food. The two friends share a meal together. Li Fugui complains about his friend's long absence. He laments his slow progress and growing teeth. Manhwa gives him a precious spirit condensing pill. Manhwa journeys back up the winding mountain path. He stops, noticing a strange mist at his feet. Ahead, he overhears disciples fawning over a senior. They praise a senior brother Wang and his upcoming promotion. The senior humbly dismisses their flattery, but his arrogant smirk reveals his true nature. Manhwa watches the entire exchange unfold. He sees the clear hypocrisy in the senior's eyes. He then notices their feet are floating above the ground. This is a technique for 5th-layer chi condensation cultivators. Manhwa knows he needs more spirit stones to advance. His journey takes him deeper into the Sect's territory. He enters the low-level public zone, a place he once feared. A sudden cry for help shatters the quiet. He witnesses a brutal robbery in broad daylight. The killer loots the body, finding nothing of value. Manhwa weighs the risk against the reward. Then a brilliant, less violent idea sparks in his mind. He heads straight for the pill cultivation workshop. He plans to trade his useless pills for more resources. He stands before the pill cultivation workshop. The next day, he enters the lawless public zone. He sets up a stall, ready to make his fortune. Violence immediately erupts between 2 disciples. A deep gash sprays blood across one man's shoulder. The attacker smirks, promising a death anniversary. A voice cuts through the tension, offering help. Manhwa offers them premium pills to stop the bleeding. The price is a single spirit stone per pill. Both men are outraged, he's basically robbing them. The injured man desperately throws him a spirit stone. Manhwa catches the payment with a smile. He flicks the pill directly into the gushing wound. The deep gash instantly seals itself shut. The customer is stunned by the miraculous recovery. Enraged, the attacker charges at them both. But his now healed target easily dodges. A swift kick sends the attacker over the edge. The tables have turned completely. Manhwa offers the loser a healing package. The attacker rages at Manhwa's interference. The 2 men resume their brutal fight. Meng Hao becomes a traveling salesman in the war zone. He pitches his miracle cure to two injured men. His business thrives in the lawless zone. He realizes he needs to control the market. But his business model has made him enemies. A furious loser ambushes him from behind, but Meng Hao easily overpowers his attacker. He loots the body, taking his payment. He counts his earnings, 53 spirit stones. He's rich, and this is safer than robbing people. He finds a rare beauty preservation pill. A shadowy figure appears at his cave entrance. Meng Hao turns, sensing the presence. It's senior sister Su, the woman who brought him here. He quickly bows, greeting her respectfully. She seems to look right through him. She gives a slight, almost imperceptible nod. He invites her inside, but she's already leaving. She's entering closed-door cultivation tomorrow. Meng Hao watches her disappear into the darkness. He reads the Patriarch's words on family and backing. A sudden realization sends him sprinting. He chases after senior sister Su, calling her name. He offers her the beauty preservation pill as a gift. She looks at him, her expression unreadable. He places the precious pill into her hand, but she scolds him for wasting cultivation resources. He bows, feigning simple gratitude for her help. She accepts the pill, giving him a protective treasure. He offers to walk with her, a calculated move for protection. She considers his request with a neutral expression. She agrees, and they walk down the mountain together. The two of them journey down the mountain paths. From a distance, an elder praises Meng Hao's cunning. He understands the need for backing to survive. Word of Meng Hao's actions spreads through the sect. Disciples gossip about his sudden rise in power. They realize he has a powerful backer in senior sister Su. Disciples gossip about the famously cold senior sister Su. They believe Meng Hao is destined for greatness now. His new protection makes everyone else deeply envious. Meanwhile, a furious disciple seeks out a senior. He claims Meng Hao robbed him by selling pills. He paints Meng Hao as a despised, greedy merchant. The senior brother calmly dismisses the disciple. He scolds the man for claiming a family connection. This is Lu Hong, number one among low-level disciples. He finds Meng Hao's business idea brilliant. A new stall appears at the pill cultivation workshop. Lu Hong watches the new merchant with disinterest. Someone is copying Meng Hao's business model. He decides to avoid trouble and turns away. Nearby, two disciples clash in a brutal duel. A sword tears open one man's arm. The victor drives his blade through his opponent's chest. The new merchant offers the winner a safety pill. The victor is confused by the strange sales pitch. He pays the merchant, who offers a future discount. The next day, business has slowed to a crawl. Meng Hao's profits have plummeted drastically. His competitor, Lu Hong, is making a fortune. He decides to kill Meng Hao after a few days. The next day, Lu Hong's business is just extortion. Meng Hao refuses to stoop to his level. On the fourth day, Lu Hong's patience runs out. He threatens to cripple Meng Hao's cultivation. The next day, Meng Hao waits at the zone's entrance. Other disciples see he's been driven out of business, but Meng Hao plants his foot, refusing to back down. Onlookers spot senior brother Lu approaching the entrance. Meng Hao explodes forward, a blur of motion. The crowd is stunned. He's challenging the senior. Lu Hong draws his blade, calling it a death wish. They recognize it as the legendary Purple Sun sword. He charges, confident in his superior weapon. The two blades meet in a flash of steel, but Meng Hao's sword shatters on impact. The force sends him flying, spitting a spray of blood. The senior is stunned. Meng Hao is a fourth-layer cultivator. He confirms he broke through only last night. He rages about the injustice of his situation. Out of demon cores, he eyes his remaining resources. He gambles that quantity can overcome weak quality. He forces down a massive dose of pills. A torrent of spiritual energy erupts within him. He tried to avoid conflict, but they forced his hand. Now at the fourth layer, he challenges his rival. The crowd realizes he's too powerful for the zone. Lu Hong glares, refusing to surrender. He hurls his sword in a final, desperate attack. Meng Hao parries with his broken blade. The cheap sword explodes on impact. Lu Hong mocks his opponent's broken weapon, but Meng Hao has other tricks up his sleeve. He reveals he has plenty of his own swords. His mirror can duplicate more than just cores. He unleashes a storm of flying blades, but the cheap copies shatter against the real thing. The crowd gasps as the legendary sword cracks. Meng Hao taunts him, surrounded by a dozen more blades. Cornered, Lu Hong prepares a desperate final move. The onlookers sense the danger and flee in terror. He summons a glowing gourd, a powerful magical treasure. It's a gift from a senior, and using it will cost him dearly. The gourd unleashes a massive beam of destructive energy. The crowd is stunned by the treasure's overwhelming power, but Meng Hao stands firm, protected by a jade pendant. The gift from senior sister Su cracks, absorbing the blast. Meng Hao realizes the pendant saved his life. Lu Hong stares in utter disbelief. A small gourd materializes in front of him. Meng Hao explodes forward, closing the distance. He lands a brutal punch on his rival. He snatches the gourd, a prize of war. Lu Hong threatens him with senior brother Wang's fury. Lu Hong reminds him that murder is forbidden here, but Meng Hao promises to cripple his cultivation instead. The senior disciple begs for mercy, completely broken. Back in the safety of his cave, Meng Hao reflects. He knew Lu Hong had a backer, but he had to fight. Their conflict was inevitable from the very beginning. He examines the stolen jade gourd, a dangerous prize. With his backer in seclusion, he has nowhere to turn. He considers returning it directly to senior brother Wang. Suddenly, a voice echoes from outside his cave. Annoyed, he sees they've already come for him. The messenger smirks, delivering his master's decree. The punishment, cripple himself and be expelled from the sect. Meng Hao's face hardens at the impossible demand. He questions if one man can override the sect's laws. The messenger declares that Wang's word is the law. With the ultimatum delivered, the messenger departs. The night grows dark, leaving Meng Hao completely alone. Panic sets in, he's trapped with no good options. He clenches his fists, his mind racing for a solution. But then a new resolve takes hold. He considers fleeing the sect to save his life. He touches the cold stone, weighing his impossible choice. The next morning, Meng Hao emerges with a plan. The messenger, Shangyuan Song, is already waiting. He knows Meng Hao won't betray the sect. He suggests begging might save him an arm. A silent fury burns in Meng Hao's eyes. He's escorted up a massive public staircase. A crowd fawns over the powerful senior brother Wang. Disciples beg for guidance and repay old debts. Wang grandly dismisses them, building his image. This is the man who holds his fate. Senior brother Wang demands he hand over the gourd. Meng Hao stands his ground, the prize at his hip. But he refuses, his eyes filled with defiance. He quotes the sect's law, "What's seized belongs to the victor." Wang scoffs, saying his will is the only law here. Meng Hao clenches his fist, refusing to surrender. Wang attacks without warning, a blur of green energy. Meng Hao raises a jade shield to block the blast. The senior brother watches, his expression unreadable. But the attack's recoil shreds the tip of his finger. The jade shield explodes into 1,000 shards. The shockwave sends Meng Hao flying backward. He stares, stunned by the overwhelming power. He realizes the pendant from Su just shattered. Wang flicks his finger, barely even trying. White ribbons of energy erupt, binding him completely. They snatch the precious gourd from his hip. Wang tosses it back, repeating his cruel ultimatum. The energy whips through the air like a snake. Now he must sever his own limbs. The magical bindings tighten around his arm. Wang delivers his final, cruel judgment. But a sudden force shatters the attack. The backlash sends Meng Hao crashing to the ground. A sect elder appears, telling Wang to back down. The senior brother reluctantly agrees to give face. He walks away, leaving Meng Hao broken in the plaza. Beaten and bloodied, our boy can only stare up. The other disciples watch with scorn and pity. The elder looks down, his expression unreadable. Meng Hao is on the ground, completely broken. He stands amid the jeers of the crowd. He walks away, a solitary, defeated figure. He finally makes it back to his cave. He stumbles through the stone entrance and collapses onto the floor, unconscious. His body lies broken in the silent cave. Suddenly, a figure appears at the entrance. Senior sister Su looks down at his body. She just emerged from her closed-door cultivation. She reveals Wang has an extraordinary background. He's at the 6th layer, handpicked for promotion. She warns him that this man is untouchable, but she offers him a new protective jade slip. He asks how long it takes to reach the 7th layer. She says it takes decades without a lucky encounter. She leaves him alone to recover from his wounds. She tells him his friend has also been promoted. He lies there, his mind reeling from the news. He slowly sits up, his resolve hardening. He gets back on his feet, bruised but not broken. He returns to the Patriarch's words on backing. The book preaches reliance on powerful patrons, but Meng Hao tastes his own blood, his own strength. He traces a new path on the cold stone and writes his own law. He is his own backer. A new day dawns on the Reliance sect. Meng Hao prepares himself for a new journey. He descends the mountain to see his friend off. Lei Fugui is celebrated, promoted to the inner sect. Lei Fugui waves goodbye to his terrified roommates. Meng Hao is completely baffled by their reaction. His friend thinks his roommates are just timid. He runs ahead, eager to show off a new treasure. He proudly presents a simple-looking short sword. He needs it to grind down his ever-growing teeth. Meng Hao recalls his friend's strange sleepwalking habit. He offers his friend a place in his new cave. Meng Hao is relieved he can keep his mirror secret. He watches his friend head back to the public zone. He asks his friend to be his new salesman. The seasons begin to change on the mountain. Meng Hao dedicates himself to his cultivation. Winter arrives, but his training never stops. His friend Li Fugui suddenly interrupts him. Meng Hao turns, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. A young disciple bows respectfully before him. He recognizes the boy from their initial capture. The boy delivers grim news: their friend is dead. He says a sudden wind blew him off a cliff. The disciple offers the new boy protection, but the boy politely refuses and walks away alone. He walks off alone into the desolate winter. Meng Hao and his friend are left confused. Meng Hao suspects the boy has a secret treasure. On Pill Day, rumors fly about a dead elder. He asks his friend about the dead elder's identity. He admits his cultivation has hit a bottleneck. He realizes the demon cores caused an early bottleneck. He tells his friend the pills are now useless. An elder presents a glowing, powerful pill. Meng Hao's eyes widen with sudden realization. It's a legendary drought spirit pill. The crowd murmurs, only one is made per year. Meng Hao knows this pill will break his bottleneck. The elder silences the crowd with a single command. Senior brother Wang sits calmly in the crowd. The elder claims to favor new disciples for the sect's future. His words are meant to inspire the younger generation. Meanwhile, Li Fugui casually gnaws on his sword. The elder bestows the pill on a single disciple. It smacks directly into Li Fugui's hand. He stares at the glowing prize, utterly terrified. He begs Meng Hao to save him from this curse. Instantly, the crowd surges forward with greed. Every disciple's eyes burn with murderous intent. He tries to give the cursed pill to Meng Hao. Meng Hao grabs him, demanding the pill for a plan. But the mob closes in, promising no escape. The crowd's surge sends them flying down the stairs. A disciple screams, accusing him of stealing the pill. The mob descends, certain he's too weak to keep it. Li Fugui watches in terror, fearing for his friend. He just needs to survive 12 hours to claim his prize. He sprints for the desolate mountains, his old hunting grounds. With fifth-layer cultivators behind him, he runs for Black Mountain. He smirks, knowing his mirror works best on furry beasts. His pursuers are stunned. He's running to his own death. They must catch him before a demon beast eats the pill. They reach the edge of the dark forest but stop short. A trail of bloody carnage greets his pursuers. They find a third-layer beast, its core already gone. Further in, 3 more corpses litter the path. One disciple realizes he badly misjudged Meng Hao. 2 fifth-layer cultivators find his trail suspicious. The leader knows he must get the pill first. The 2 seniors leap ahead, closing the distance. But Meng Hao is ready with his secret weapon. He points the mirror and the beasts scatter in terror. He'll use the beasts to slow down his pursuers. He dodges 2 swords with a graceful flip. He lands perfectly on another flying blade, which he sends shooting forward, planting his feet on the steel, and rides it like a wave to escape. His pursuers realize it's not true sword flight. He kicks the blade ahead, repeating the trick. They believe the technique will quickly drain him. He swallows a pill to replenish his energy. He recalls Wang's cruelty, vowing to get stronger. A pursuer attacks with a fiery serpent technique. His partner offers a deal, attacking with his blade. Meng Hao sprints, dodging the fiery serpent. He counters with a storm of 10 flying swords. He shouts a single, deadly command. The cheap blades detonate in a massive explosion. They realize he's a walking treasure trove. Half an hour later, another explosion echoes. An hour in, the pill's light marks his position. The brutal, explosive chase continues to rage on. The pursuers are stunned by his endless supply of swords. They know he's using pills, but something else is wrong. Suddenly, a demon beast lunges at the pursuer. He crushes its skull, realizing the beasts ignore Meng Hao. Swarmed by beasts, they decide to clear a path first. He knows the mirror is his key, but he must hide it. But he worries a full beast tide will overwhelm him. A terrifying roar suddenly echoes through the forest. He realizes this roar belongs to a demon king. Shadowy beasts with glowing eyes emerge from the trees. The copper mirror flashes with a brilliant light. A furious demon ape answers its silent call. He's suddenly surrounded by a pack of them. The mirror can't repel such powerful beasts, but a new, more devious plan forms. Elsewhere, his pursuers fight for their lives. The blonde disciple considers giving up the chase. Suddenly, Meng Hao leaps from the trees above. He's brought the entire demon ape pack with him. He unleashes another sword explosion to cover his escape. The pursuer curses Meng Hao's despicable tactics, but Meng Hao knows the apes will weaken his enemies. Soon, he hears them catching up again. He must go deeper into Black Mountain to survive. The chase continues long into the night. A new pack of beasts roars in the darkness. His pursuers wonder why the beasts have gone mad. They realize he's influencing the beasts' emotions. One man refuses to give up the precious pill. Meanwhile, Meng Hao pushes deeper into the forest. He freezes, pointing at an impossible sight. A massive pale form fills the chasm. covered in thick dark scales. A colossal demon python coils in the darkness. Its ancient golden eyes stare into nothing. The beast seems to be in terrible pain. He realizes it's shedding its entire skin. It unleashes a roar of pure agony. The shockwave nearly shatters his spirit. But in its weakness, Meng Hao sees an opportunity. The python's roar alone is enough to injure him internally. Its power level must be near the peak of chi condensation. He knows he must flee, but something catches his eye. An ancient flying sword is embedded in the beast's back. He realizes the blade, fused to the beast, must be a treasure. He shakes his head, refusing to risk provoking the beast. He sprints away, leaving the dangerous opportunity behind. Hours later, his pursuers finally find him meditating. His exhausted pursuers taunt him, assuming he's spent. But he just pops a recovery pill, feeling refreshed. His pursuers are spent, asking if he has more medicine. The senior rages, demanding he stop running and fight. Meng Hao calmly threatens to lead them into a beast herd. He reminds them the 12 hours are almost up. His enemies are left speechless with impotent rage. One finally gives up, vowing revenge back at the sect. The other tries to save face, offering a false friendship. Defeated, they congratulate him on his future promotion. Meng Hao watches his pursuers finally retreat. He collapses in exhaustion, the brutal chase finally over. Half an hour later, the final pill light fades. The seal is lifted, the prize is officially his. He pulls out his secret weapon, the copper mirror. He bets all his spirit stones to duplicate the pill. The gamble pays off, creating 10 precious pills. With this, he can finally reach the 5th layer. Elsewhere, a man's 5-year wait is finally over. He's been hunting a dragon that died here long ago. He believes the Reliance sect is his destiny. It's senior brother Wang, and his plans are in motion. Wang reveals his plan for the weakened demon python. He boasts of his destiny, chosen for greatness. A flashback shows a drop of blood marking him as a child. This blood led him to a secret, ancient dragon corpse. At dawn, they will head to Black Mountain to claim it. Meanwhile, Meng Hao prepares to consume all 10 pills. He swallows them one by one, fueling his breakthrough. The last 2 pills vanish, his power surging. A brilliant light envelops him as he ascends. He awakens inside his own body, a vast spiritual sea. He's reached the 5th layer, a pill lake forming inside him. He steps into his spiritual sea, a major cultivation milestone. His mortal body is gone, replaced by a spiritual foundation. His new power unlocks the advanced wind walking technique. He knows the pills have limits but aims for the 6th layer. Suddenly, a terrifying roar shatters the silence. He sprints toward the sound, sensing the python's terror. He finds senior brother Wang battling the massive python. He realizes Wang's true target has always been the python. Wang smirks, his plan to claim the beast finally in motion. He unleashes a volley of flying swords. They shatter against the python's tough scales. His allies leap into the fray, a coordinated assault. Meng Hao realizes they're all 7th layer masters, but the beast's hide deflects every single blow. He cheers for the python, hoping it eats his rival. Wang calmly gives the order to form an array. Magical lines of light begin to trace the sky. The complex pattern grows, crackling with power. A massive ceiling array forms above the beast. The python roars, unleashing a torrent of energy. A phantom dragon of pure lightning forms above it. But Wang just smirks, his eyes glowing with power. The spectral dragon suddenly dissipates into nothing. His allies realize the beast can't truly use that power. The python unleashes a different kind of attack. A blast of corrosive venom strikes the ground. Enraged, its eyes glow with murderous intent. It towers over them, a true demon king. But the ceiling array takes its toll, drawing blood. The python sheds its skin, spraying a bloody mist. Wang smirks, certain the supreme treasure is his. But Meng Hao spots something strange as the beast rises. The ancient sword is no longer embedded in its flesh. He realizes the treasure is stuck in the shed skin. He vows to one day face Wang as an equal. With new purpose, he sprints toward the chasm, racing across the treacherous, rocky ground, and slips into a narrow crevice in the cliff face. He navigates the tight passage, a plan in motion. He pushes forward, sweat beading on his brow. He emerges into the chasm, his heart pounding. Wang's allies tell him to claim his prize. Meanwhile, Wang slips into a hidden passage. He emerges into a secret, ancient cavern. He smirks, his lifelong goal finally in sight. The python was just the tail of a dead dragon. He knew the molting was the only time to enter. He spent years and a fortune to find this place, but the promised treasure is nowhere to be found. He frantically searches, knowing the treasure is gone. He uses his blood drop to track the prize. A memory flashes of the ancient dragon's fall. A powerful blow once shattered its skull. He finds a new wound on the dragon's corpse. Wang erupts from the mountain in a fury. He screams, demanding to know who took his prize. His face twists into a mask of pure rage. He roars his full name, Wang Tengfei, future legend. Elsewhere, Meng Hao grins, celebrating his new fortune. He hears Wang's furious screams as he flees. Back in his cave, he collapses from exhaustion. He pulls out the first prize, a golden storage pouch. He recalls taking it from the ancient cultivator's corpse. He eagerly peeks inside the pouch, his eyes going wide with utter shock. He reaches inside to claim the contents. The stones are small, but the sheer quantity is staggering. He realizes this fortune can fuel his mirror for greater treasures. The pouch also contains a set of simple clothes. He considers duplicating the python's demon core. Suddenly, the copper mirror begins to glow. It burns his hand, forcing him to drop it. A beam of light shoots from the falling mirror. It strikes the demon core in a flash of light. The mirror ricochets wildly around the cave. He desperately tries to regain control of it. He notices the core's cracked outer shell. He peels back the shell, revealing a glowing red orb. The orb radiates an immense spiritual power. He examines the ancient sword, veins of light glowing. It looks like wood, but it's an incredible treasure. The blade hums, absorbing energy from his cave. He tests its hunger with a single spirit stone. The sword instantly drains the stone completely dry. He realizes its true power. It leeches an enemy's energy. But the mirror goes wild, craving the new treasure. He decides to risk duplicating the powerful blade. He wonders how many spirit stones this will cost him. He presses the sword to the mirror, beginning the process. The priceless sword vanishes into the mirror's surface. He panics, screaming that the mirror just stole his prize. He tries to calm down, hoping it's just duplicating. He decides to test it with a single spirit stone. The mirror instantly devours the spirit stone. He rages at the mirror for consuming everything. He challenges the mirror, feeding it stone after stone. Its endless hunger reduces him to begging for mercy. He realizes he's trapped until the process is complete. Suddenly, a brilliant light erupts from the mirror. He's too exhausted to even process the strange light. The mirror burns with an unending, brilliant glow. Moments later, his eyes widen in disbelief. The duplication is complete. 2 swords lie on the floor. He collapses, laughing and sobbing at the immense cost. The process drained his entire 2,000 stone fortune. He turns his attention to the glowing red orb. He wonders how high it will push his cultivation. Without hesitation, he swallows the mysterious orb. It plunges into the depths of his spiritual sea. The mountain is silent, holding its breath. Suddenly, the water erupts with immense force. A massive wave crashes against the shoreline. The shockwave ripples through the entire forest. Back in his cave, Meng Hao's power surges. He breaks through to the mid-6th layer of qi condensation. Days later, his body is covered in black impurities. He opens his eyes, his cultivation finally stabilized. He rises, shedding the filth of his old limits. The black residue falls away, a sign of his rebirth. He washes away the filth of his old body. His form is cleansed, reborn by spiritual power. The 6th layer purges all mortal impurities. His hair has grown, his body impossibly light. At this level, few disciples can challenge him. He savors the victory stolen from Wang Tengfei. Elsewhere, Wang Tengfei's man reports his findings. The list of suspects is down to only 2 names. Wang dismisses one, asking about Meng Hao. He's the disciple Wang already publicly humiliated. Wang Tengfei's rage builds, his knuckles white. He remembers a small birthmark on his wrist, a mark that tied him to his fated prize. But with the treasure gone, the mark has vanished. He roars, vowing to shred whoever stole his inheritance. He dismisses his terrified subordinate with a shout. The man flees, leaving Wang alone with his fury. He reveals a desperate plan to find the thief. He will reverse the sealing array to track the energy. A glowing magical formation envelops the room. The sky is a sea of roiling clouds. A sudden rush, a sense of falling. Or maybe he's flying through the air. His eyes snap open in a cold sweat. He wakes up, wondering if it was a dream. His friendly Fugui mourns his supposed death. Meng Hao smacks him very much alive. His friend sobs, relieved he's not alone. He's stunned by Meng Hao's 6th layer power. But Meng Hao knows he's still far too weak. He tests his new power, floating effortlessly. The technique is still new and unrefined. He touches down, still mastering the feel. His friend calls it floating, but is still impressed. He calls his sword, ready for another test. He rides the blade, slicing a tree in 2. A new incantation suddenly surfaces in his mind. The ancient words of the technique fill his thoughts. He forms a complex and powerful hand seal, and unleashes a surge of spiritual energy. A blade of pure wind rips through the air. He realizes this power is from his dream of flight. His friend is starstruck by his incredible power. He tells Meng Hao the inner Sect trials have begun. Meng Hao listens, surprised by the sudden opportunity. His friend says the trial is rigged for Wang Tengfei. The thought of stealing Wang's spot is tempting, but he decides to lay low and focus on their shop. Elsewhere, a man coughs up blood, his life fading. He feels an oppressive power from a glowing array. He wonders who could have severed his blood connection. Weeks later, disciples gossip about the upcoming trial. They mock the sect's decline and its watered-down trials. His friend celebrates their booming business ventures. He's duplicated hundreds of swords, disguising them for sale. But a sudden, powerful presence makes him sweat. A yellow talisman hangs from the stranger's neck. The outer sect's second strongest disciple summons him for an elder. He recognizes the elder from the Python incident. The elder calls him inside, sending the other disciple away. Manhwa formally greets the imposing elder. The elder flicks his finger, a test of power. A blast of energy hurtles toward Manhwa. The elder pricks his own forehead, drawing blood. He detects no treasures and demands the storage pouch. He inspects the pouch, finding nothing of value. Manhwa asks what he wants, his real treasures hidden. The elder demands to know how his cultivation grew so fast. A disciple reports his cave is completely empty. The elder dismisses the man, his suspicions lingering. Manhwa stands before the elder, sweat on his brow. The elder dismisses him with a casual wave. Manhwa leaves the residence, his mind racing. But the elder sits alone, his suspicions growing. He tastes the drop of blood from the needle. A sudden, shocking realization dawns on him. Meanwhile, Manhwa races back through the forest. His friend rushes to meet him, relieved he's safe. Li Fugui returns the storage pouch, asking how it went. Manhwa admits the elder suspects him, and they panic. Manhwa grabs his friend, a look of pure panic on his face. He drags him onto his sword, shouting that the elder is coming. Elder Shangyuan Zhu gives chase, soaring through the air. The taste of blood reveals Manhwa consumed hundreds of demon cores. He wonders how a mere disciple found such a treasure trove. In the public zone, disciples chat idly in the street. Suddenly, Manhwa and his friend blast past on a flying sword. The elder follows close behind, scattering everyone in his path. The onlookers are stunned, certain Manhwa is a dead man. Manhwa knows the elder is gliding, but his own energy is fading fast. Li Fugui offers to be a decoy, but Manhwa refuses. He says there's only one place they can go now. They scramble up the massive stairs toward their goal. The elder watches from below, wondering at their plan. Manhwa sprints toward the registration platform. He shouts that he's signing up for the inner sect trial. He even registers his friend as the elder arrives. The elder realizes he's hiding but calls it a dead end. Another elder orders them to wait for the trial to begin. The trial overseer is shocked by his sixth-layer cultivation. The overseer explains the rules. Once signed, he cannot leave. The elder notices the grand elder favors Manhwa. Manhwa gives his pursuer a defiant little smirk. The elder's eyes burn with murderous rage, but he's forced to turn and walk away, leaving Manhwa safe under the trial's protection. Manhwa is resolute, but his friend is terrified. He knows he must win to survive the elder's wrath. But there is only one spot in the inner sect. Nearby, Wang Tengfei senses their fated confrontation. The registration list grows, adding more names. A disciple warns him the elder will kill him in the trial. He sits calmly, confident in the elder's power. While Wang Tengfei meditates, Li Fugui sobs in terror. More disciples sign up, crowding the registration list. 2 more tough-looking disciples join the waiting group. The list fills up with 8 names in total. An old veteran and a confident youth also wait for the trial. Manhwa realizes the elder has stacked the trial with killers. 2 days later, a crowd of eager disciples has gathered. The Grand Elder declares the trial has finally begun. He unleashes his power, green energy swirling around him. He announces the brutal rules: no retreat, only surrender. With a single command, he calls forth the arena. The ground itself begins to tremble and shift. A massive stone platform rises from the earth. The fighting stage is formed, a grand arena for the trial. He announces the first match, 1 disciple against 8. A single figure steps onto the newly formed stage. It's Wang Tengfei, the sect's chosen prodigy. The first challenger, number 8, sweats in fear. He faces Wang Tengfei's power and instantly surrenders. He bows, wishing his senior brother good fortune. The Grand Elder announces the next match, 2 versus 7. One of the Elder's hired killers steps onto the stage. Li Fugui panics, but Manhwa tells him to just forfeit. He leaps onto the stage, ready to give up. He raises his hand to declare his surrender, but his opponent charges before he can speak. The blade slices his throat, cutting his words short. The killer sends Li Fugui flying off the stage. Manhwa catches his friend, who screams his surrender. He realizes the vicious strike was meant to kill. He knows Elder Shangyuan Zhu ordered this hit. Another hired killer says they both must die today. He thinks even Wang Tengfei wouldn't stoop this low. The crowd gossips certain Manhwa is a dead man. The next opponent instantly surrenders to the Elder's man. The final match begins, Meng Hao versus an axe wielder. His opponent unleashes a giant technique, growing huge. The giant towers over him, ready to strike. But Meng Hao simply turns his back. The Elder watches, baffled by this strange tactic. He walks to the edge, facing the Elder directly. The giant brings his massive axe down. A single sword appears to block the blow. A shimmering shield deflects the powerful strike. The Elder scoffs, knowing the man is only fifth layer. He reveals a defensive treasure on his belt. Then Meng Hao unleashes a storm of flying swords and gives the single deadly command, explode. The cheap blades detonate in a fiery blast. A single sword finds the giant's throat. His opponent falls, defeated in a single move. Another hired killer vows he'll be next. Elder Shangyuan seethes with pure fury. The second round begins with another instant surrender. Meng Hao realizes the trial is stacked against him. The Grand Elder announces the next fight and calls Meng Hao back to the stage. His next opponent, Han Zong, takes the stage. He vows to make Meng Hao pay for his disrespect. Meng Hao feigns respect, mocking the Elder's power. He explains how he learned the sect is poor and broken. Here, even the smallest treasures lead to bloodshed. Han Zong says only the ruthless survive this sect. Meng Hao whispers that the Elder is a nobody elsewhere. Enraged, Han Zong screams that he's asking for death. He unleashes a furious barrage of energy strikes, but Meng Hao dodges, ready to counter the attack. His opponent summons two magical banners. The banners glow, crackling with raw power. The magical flags begin to circle overhead. He summons a familiar, fiery power. A massive fire serpent erupts from his hands, but his opponent simply stomps the ground. The stone stage cracks and shatters from the force. He summons a massive golem from the stone. The fire serpent roars, ready to strike. Its empty eyes stare down the fiery beast. The fiery serpent explodes against the golem's chest. Han Zong scoffs, calling it a mere bluff. He unleashes his own technique, the five elements. Two ghostly figures emerge from the banners, their smoky, masked forms towering over Meng Hao. The crowd recognizes the Elder's ultimate technique. They realize he's using a treasure from the Elder. Elsewhere, the Elder recalls a recent conversation. He demanded every detail of the Black Mountain chase. They explained how beasts ignored Meng Hao to attack them. The Grand Elder knows this isn't a technique, it's a treasure. Meng Hao scoffs at the poison mist. With a single word, he commands it to disperse. A powerful gust of wind tears the phantoms apart. The smoky figures are blown away completely. Meng Hao lands, a confident smirk on his face. He reminds his foe of his favorite tactic. Han Zong panics, pulling out a magical talisman. But Meng Hao unleashes a storm of flying swords. His opponent slaps the talisman, his last defense. A golden shield flares, holding back the blast. But the sheer force of the explosions cracks it. The entire stage is consumed by the fiery detonation. Meng Hao watches calmly from the other side. The crowd gawks, shocked he'd destroy so many swords. He leaps through the smoke, closing the distance. He reminds his foe that survival is for the ruthless. He moves through a rain of his own blades, which find their mark, impaling Han Zong. Meng Hao lands softly on the stage. He coldly tells his foe his fate wasn't hard enough. The crowd erupts, stunned he actually killed Han Zong. From the sidelines, Wang Tengfei's eyes narrow in thought. He realizes Han Zong wasn't the one who stole his prize. His allies drag the body away, leaving a trail of blood. His friend rushes to his side, worried for his health. He pops a pill, no longer needing to hide his resources. The Grand Elder recognizes his incredible talent and fortune. He knows Meng Hao must now face the prodigy Wang Tengfei, but he can't interfere without showing public favoritism. Elder Shangyuan rages, unable to understand the loss. Far above, a lone figure watches the trial. The Grand Elder observes from his high perch. He knows the boy has great fortune, but the spot is taken. He turns away, leaving fate to run its course. Wang Tengfei notes the Grand Elder's favoritism toward Meng Hao. He dismisses Meng Hao, blaming a mysterious light instead. He vows to claim his second prize, the inner sect spot. He scoffs at this minor sect, a stepping stone to glory. The final match is set, winner takes the inner sect spot. Meng Hao steps onto the stage for the final match. The crowd scoffs, calling him a mere stepping stone. The Elder worries he'll lose the pouch if Meng Hao dies. But a few loyal friends cheer for Meng Hao's victory. Wang Tengfei smirks and summons a massive whirlwind. The vortex of wind rips across the stage. Meng Hao calmly says he knows wind techniques too. He leaps high, countering with his own wind blade. The two techniques collide with immense force, erupting in a shower of deadly wind blades. Wang Tengfei scoffs, unimpressed by Meng Hao's power. He mocks the sect's weakness, calling them all trash. But Meng Hao unleashes his own fire serpent technique. Wang Tengfei is bored, calling his tricks petty. He summons a new power, a swirling water wind. The watery vortex moves to counter the fiery blades. The Grand Elder realizes this is a Wang family technique. Wang Tengfei unleashes the water wind slash to finish him. A massive torrent of water rips across the stage. Meng Hao commands his flaming swords to block the attack. The water vortex smothers his flaming swords. He realizes he's completely outmatched by the attack. The watery blast slams into the stone stage. Wang Tengfei is shocked he managed to dodge. The attack carves a massive chasm in the arena. The Elder waits, certain he'll soon claim his prize. Wang Tengfei decides to end the fight now. He remembers their first fight, a humiliating defeat. He prepares to unleash his entire arsenal. A storm of hundreds of swords fills the air. The sky darkens with a rain of countless blades. A storm of steel descends upon the arena, but Meng Hao condenses them into one massive sword. The crowd gasps, realizing he's burning demon cores for power. The Grand Elder knows Wang's defenses will easily hold. Wang Tengfei scoffs, calling his attack worthless trash. With a final roar, Meng Hao puts everything on the line. He swings the giant blade with all his remaining strength. Wang Tengfei simply points a single, dismissive finger. His power shatters the massive sword on contact. The crowd scoffs, calling him an ant against a god. The last of his swords shatter against Wang's finger. The massive blade is reduced to nothing but dust. But a single point of light remains at the tip. Wang Tengfei's eyes widen in sudden shock. The hidden attack detonates in a flash of red light. His finger is mangled, blood dripping from the wound. Wang stares in disbelief at his own injury. Meng Hao reveals his true goal, to destroy that finger. The crowd and elders are stunned by this impossible turn. Wang Tengfei roars, finally realizing who stole his prize. Meng Hao plays dumb, questioning his claim. Wang unleashes two spectral beasts in a rage, but Meng Hao shatters them with a single swing. The backlash sends him reeling, coughing blood. Wang scoffs, calling him unworthy of the blade. Meng Hao accuses him of trying to steal the sword. He asks if this unique treasure looks familiar, and reveals a second, identical sword in his hand. Wang Tengfei's mind completely shatters. The prodigy's composure cracks, his mind reeling. Meng Hao mocks him, asking if the sword is truly unique. He declares them a match set, his heaven and earth swords. He hurls one sword down, creating a platform. He launches from the blade, soaring to meet his foe. The crowd is stunned, only masters should be able to fly. He reveals his last resort, a powerful one-use talisman. Wang unleashes the talisman, but Meng Hao stands defiant. The crowd watches as the two warriors face off in the sky. A blinding explosion of light engulfs the entire arena. Inside Meng Hao, the demon core begins to glow. The ancient dragon's power surges within him. The blast wave rips across the entire arena. Smoke and dust fill the air from the impact. A body plummets from the sky like a meteor. Wang Tengfei lies broken in a shattered crater. The crowd screams, certain he's going for the kill. But Meng Hao dives, sword aimed for the final blow. The Grand Elder screams for him to stop the attack. But a new figure appears, saving the fallen prodigy. The powerful figure tells him that's enough. The entire crowd bows, greeting the sect master. He announces Meng Hao is the new inner sect disciple. He stands victorious, the brutal fight finally over. He bows, accepting the sect master's judgment. Bruised and bloodied, he can't help but smile. The declaration is final, Meng Hao has won. His friend erupts in celebration, the Grand Elder proud. Elder Shangyuan Zhu realizes his plan has failed. The crowd is in an uproar, calling him a genius. High above, a presence watches Black Mountain. A cosmic being scoffs at the sect's new name. It knows this as the ancient demon sealing sect, and vows that one day it will defy heaven. Its projection found Meng Hao's actions fascinating. 7 days later, Meng Hao begins his induction. He bows before the Patriarch's portrait as required. He meets a friendly senior disciple, Chen Dan. The senior brother is pleased by his kind words. He promises Meng Hao a superior cave dwelling. Chen Dan notes Sister Su doesn't know of his success. Meng Hao thinks the inner sect is a different world. His senior brother warns him not to rely on tools. He also scolds him for eating mortal food. Even his storage pouches are a topic of critique. Meng Hao realizes his new friend never stops talking. Chen Dan teases him about thinking of Sister Su. Meng Hao deflects, asking about future cultivation. Chen Dan explains the Foundation establishment realm, but he reveals the sect's best technique is lost. Chen Dan explains the higher realms of cultivation. The ultimate goal of this path is immortality. He warns Meng Hao to look beyond their weak nation. The true cultivation world is a brutal, endless climb. Meng Hao realizes his senior brother is lost in thought. Chen Dan snaps back, admitting he got carried away. He reveals his dream, to take over the Reliance sect. He wants to restore the sect to its former glory. Meng Hao jokes that his ambition sounds villainous, but his expression turns serious and thoughtful. Meng Hao thanks him, finally feeling like a true disciple. His friend offers more lessons, but Meng Hao is overwhelmed. Later that night, under a full moon, a stone pillar lies shattered on the floor. Elsewhere, Wang Tengfei stews in his defeat. He obsesses over Meng Hao and his stolen inheritance. His years of planning have all turned to dust. Suddenly, a loud crash shatters the silence. Two figures appear, members of the powerful Wang clan. They remind him his true rivals are far beyond the sect. Wang Tengfei sweats, utterly humiliated. He struggles to rise, his body and pride broken. He roars his name, a desperate cry of defiance. But his clan demands to know who he is. They remind him of his destiny as a Wang prodigy. His future is limitless, Meng Hao is just an ant. But the memory of his defeat still burns brightly. Outside, disciples point to a shape in the sky. A massive flying ship descends from the clouds. Meng Hao watches, knowing the Wang family has arrived. The Wang clan members look down on the sect. One of them focuses his gaze on Meng Hao. He places a hand on his companion's shoulder. His eyes flash with a terrifying purple light. The spiritual pressure slams into Meng Hao, who coughs blood. He collapses, the crowd panicking about revenge. The sect master identifies the core formation attacker. The clan member announces they're taking Wang Tengfei. The massive ship vanishes into the night sky. Meng Hao realizes the vast power gap he faces. He knows this victory is temporary, he must grow or die. He spends weeks recovering, now an inner sect disciple. He studies ancient texts, learning about the southern domain. He receives his first mid-grade spirit stones, a familiar sight. His senior brother explains their value, 1 for 100. High-grade stones are priceless, worth 10,000 lesser ones. A horrifying realization, he squandered a priceless fortune. He plays it off, his soul literally leaving his body. He's now in charge of distributing pills to the outer sect. From above, he showers the eager disciples with pills. He addresses the outer sect, a respected senior brother. He dismisses the crowd and walks away. Li Fugui follows, buzzing with excitement. His former enemies now offer him gifts and praise. They bow as Meng Hao and his friend depart. Li Fugui boasts he's handling these discreet matters. Meng Hao gives him Wang Tengfei's old cave dwelling. His friend runs off, excited to impress the junior sisters. Meng Hao walks alone, his new status secured. Their pill business is now a thriving monopoly. He walks along a quiet, dusty path. His friend is still busy making deals. A familiar figure with long hair appears. Meng Hao stops, recognizing the woman. He bows respectfully to senior sister Su. She congratulates him, asking about her jade slip. He smirks, saying he won before he needed it. She stares, taking in his newfound confidence. He offers her a beauty pill as a gift. She looks at the pill, completely speechless. She abruptly turns, saying she's tired. He watches her walk away down the path. But she stops, her footsteps pausing. She reveals she knows his first pill was a gift. Then she continues on her way without another word. Meng Hao is left alone, a little bewildered. He returns to his cave, meditating on his new power. Suddenly, a green flame appears on the wall. The flames form into ancient, glowing characters. A message from the sect's ancient past. Meng Hao and 2 others are summoned to a meeting. The sect master orders them to pay respects to the Patriarch. Meng Hao notes the statue has the aura of a fighter. The sect master begins to explain the sect's lost history. Their former glory came from a single, powerful scripture. Meng Hao recognizes the name, but only a small part. Each volume of the scripture unlocks a higher realm of power. The Patriarch's volume was the reason Wang Tengfei joined. Meng Hao realizes he didn't just steal a spot but a destiny. And now, that incredible opportunity belongs to him. But the sect master reveals the scripture was never recorded, and that the Patriarch never truly died. The revelation sends a shockwave through the 3 disciples. He explains that 400 years ago, the Patriarch was at the end of his life, and chose to enter a deep seclusion to sever his spirit and be reborn. Before he did, he left a decree. Every century, 10 jades formed from his own blood would appear. Chosen disciples would then take these jades into his seclusion ground to try and sense his scattered will. With enough luck and destiny, they could potentially inherit the legendary Tai Ling scripture. Chen Dan asks the obvious question, in 400 years, has anyone ever succeeded? The sect master explains that something went wrong 2 centuries ago, but 5 years ago, 3 of the jades finally reappeared. He realizes he literally kicked Wang Tengfei out of his spot. The sect master explains only 3 can enter the domain. He catches a glowing, horn-like spirit jade. This is their key to the lost scripture's enlightenment. The Patriarch statue suddenly glows with immense power. A swirling blue portal opens at its feet. The sect master tells them to step inside and take their chance. The three jades shoot forward like comets, plunging deep into the swirling vortex. He can only watch, leaving their fates to chance. The sect master reveals his exhaustion. The sect is dying. He'll pass leadership to whoever finds the scripture. Manhwa finds himself in a strange, dark world. He stands before a massive underground palace. His companions explain this is the sect's catacomb. A thick, colorless fog blankets the entire area. His companion stops him, warning the mist is a deadly trap. They must find 3 spots and can only leave together. The long-haired disciple holds his glowing jade token. He flies off, wishing the others good luck. The female disciple chooses her path, warning him to be careful. She walks off into the mist, leaving him alone. He injects his spiritual energy into the jade token. A sudden force yanks him into the air. A ghostly hand erupts from the ground, pulling him down. He looks back, his eyes wide with shock. The enraged spirit of an ancestor roars in his face.